Hi everyone, back again with another quick video. As promised in the last video, I have a deck which I want to run through with you, and that's what this video is going to be. And without further ado, I shall tell you that the deck in question is the Autonomic Tarot, which is a very interesting deck. I don't quite know how I came across it. I think somebody, and I can't remember who, I'm sorry, mentioned it in a Facebook group that I'm in, I think in For Love of Cards, and it looked interesting enough that I thought it was worth investigating. Excuse me, I'm going to have a sip of this, my friends, is Campari and soda. So refreshing. I know that Campari is meant to be a very 70s drink, but as far as I'm concerned, it's a drink for every decade and every day, in fact. Well, not every day. I don't drink it every day, but I drink it quite a lot. Not that I drink a lot, it's just that when I drink this a lot. Oh dear, I don't know why I'm explaining myself to you. It's not as though this is like some kind of rated show or anything where I can't drink. It's not even that strong. My battery's getting low. I hope this is still recording. So anyway, that's very refreshing. I like my drinks. Campari is very bitter. I like my drink like I like my men. Bitter, the heart of ice, and with a pink blush around the edges. Yes, so back to the matter at hand, which is the Autonomic Tarot. So it started life as a piece of work called To Run Wild in It, a handbook of Autonomic Tarot, written by David Keenan and illustrated by Sophy Hollington. And whereas, normally you have a tarot deck and then somebody writes a guidebook to accompany it, this is the other way around. This came first. It's a novella, not particularly a guidebook, although it also acts as a guidebook to the cards, and then this came from it. I'll read you what it says on the back of the book, just so you're aware. Published by Rough Trade Books. I've just had a look on their website, and at the time that I'm filming this, I can't actually get onto their website. So I'll link, if I can't get onto it by the time I finish this video, I'll link their Twitter feed below, so you can at least link to that and see from there where to go. And it says on the back of the book, To Run Wild in It is a book about tarot, an experimental novella, a channeled text, and an extension of ideas first broached in David Keenan's acclaimed debut novel, This Is Memorial Device. Taking the maxim that the best way to understand the tarot is to create your own, Keenan has reimagined the deck as the unfolding of parallel stories alive with uncanny oracular detail. In collaboration with the artist Sophy Hollington, it suddenly got very dark. The sun's kind of going in and out of the clouds. In collaboration with the artist Sophy Hollington, the pair have created an accompanying deck that, whilst still having an umbilical to the card's archaic roots, future visions it as a glam-punk portal deep into the now. That appeals to me because, as you know, I'm all about tarot reading in the now. By the way, I've just caught, at the time I'm filming this, the 24-hour Tarot-thon is on, which is just marvellous, and I've tried to dip into as many of the videos as I can throughout the day, and at the moment, or a few moments ago anyway, Veronica Jude was filming, and I just tuned in at the point where she was talking about reading tarot in the now, and actually that being for her what it's all about in terms of your reading tells you what's happening now, and that's the important thing. And yes, that's exactly how I see it. So that was very interesting, and I encourage you, if I get this video up in time and the Tarot-thon is still going, I'll put the link to it below. Or the hashtag below, so you can find the videos. Then I encourage you to watch it, because it's a great group of channels, and a lot of my tarot buddies are on there. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to participate this year because I was otherwise engaged, but hopefully if they do it again, I will participate. Lots of people have been involved, and Simon from Hermit's Cave has coordinated it all, and it just looks fantastic. So that's a little plug for the 24-hour Tarot-thon. Back to Autonomic Tarot. So in the novella there is writing and there are pictures of tarot cards. What followed this was the deck itself, the Autonomic Tarot. Let me just read you a bit about the principle behind the deck. It's a little white book which comes with the deck. You don't have to buy the book, the novella and the deck together, but I did. But it does have a little white book, and it says the Autonomic Tarot was created by writer David Keenan and artist Sophy Hollington. Most tarot decks consist of 78 cards. You'll see that this one doesn't because it's too thin, but it's not just majors only, it's a bit more interesting than that. Most tarot decks consist of 78 cards comprising 22 majors and 56 minors, and it tells you about how they're numbered, etc, blah 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 blah. The Autonomic Tarot contains 22 major arcana cards but dispenses with the court cards altogether. So many people will be relieved to have the court cards booted out because they can be rather difficult. And instead comes with 8 numbered minor arcana pip cards, the ace and the 10 of the suits of wands, cups, swords and discs. So you've got your 4 suits but only 2 cards in them, the ace and the 10. These cards represent the elements in their most essential aspects, the ace, and in the fullest realization of their potential, the 10, and have been given new names. I think the best thing to do is just show you what they mean, because it is interesting and the artwork is lovely. That's the back of the cards, and good cardstock, firm, not overly laminated, nice feel to them, and fantastic images. The image on the front of this book is what first attracted me to it, because it looks like 3 witches. I love witches, and but it's actually that's the full card. So let's just quickly go through these marvellous Linocut illustrations, very evocative. I'm going to pause on this one because I think this one is quite useful. It gives you a good example of where they're coming from. So this is what it says in the little white book. The priestess is often depicted positioned between the twin pillars of Solomon's temple and the left and right paths of the Kabbalistic tree of life. As such, she is associated with the key central path between Tifereth, heart and beauty, and Kether, crown and godhead. But here these pillars and columns are revealed as the legs of the high priestess herself, who has lovely pins indeed, and from between these and between which comes the 2 duality, as well as the nectar of Amrita and the taste of your sex. The animal associated with the path between Tifereth and Kether is traditionally the camel, because the calling on of the high priestess requires the crossing of a desert, an act of mindless bravery, which is the bright light of the soul and which requires a great store of resources. And here we have her heels buried deep in the sand, but with the offer, the certainty of the quenching liquid of desire at the end. All devourer, all begetter, make of it the same way. The halo of the anklet is an example of deifying an aspect of the female in order to put it on a pedestal. A high heel on a high priestess. And of course the anklet resembles a crown of thorns, which represents severity. And of course lingerie represents the highest peak of civilization, which presence is the mark of its fullest realization for a reason, the enthroning of Isis Shiva. So that gives you an idea of this deck's interesting kind of I've lost the card now. I'm so blown away by that rather interesting High Priestess card. So we'll maybe stop and read another one of those just to give you more of a flavour. And now the sun is in the way of the cards. So is that better? Maybe I should do it that way. So there is the Empress. I am going to have to do it that way because we are illuminated by light here. I'm disappearing into a field of light. So hopefully you can at least see the cards, even if you can't see me. There's the Emperor, the Hierophant, the Lovers. This is very awkward for me because I'm left-handed, and now I'm having to do this right-handed. The Chariot. I love the kind of Linocut illustrations. And I love the fact that there's a definite nod to Rider-Waite, obviously, in the way that the names and the images are proportioned and constructed, and yet it looks entirely like its own self. You can see the Thoth influence there. Lust for strength. There's the Hanged Man. The card where I was doing that, by the way, is the Death card on the cover. Art for Temperance, again very Thoth influence there. The Devil, the Tower. I love that little face. The lovely star. There's the Moon, the Sun, the Aeon, and the universe. And then here is where we get rather interesting variations. So for wands, the Ace of Wands, ashes. The Ten of Wands, dust, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. The Ace of Cups, hope, leading to the Ten of Cups, beginning. And then swords, ending, leading to swords, Ten of Swords, completion. And then the Ace of Discs, daring, leading to the Ten of Discs, bravery. And let me read you what it says about the Ten of Discs, just so that you have got... oh, I can't, because it doesn't actually tell you specifically what the meanings are. So let's go back at... let's pick another card from the majors. I'm just going to do it randomly. Okay, the Tower, the one with a lovely face. What does the Tower tell us? This... okay, not that lovely a face. This is Hitler in the Führer bunker, rising down. This is hubris and nemesis. This is a blacked out room on a council estate. The forced reshaping of reality according to abstract ideas. This is the destruction of the body, the desacralizing of the mass. This is mob in agreement, as in stone upon stone, but who cast the first one? This is the God-given sanctity of the individual. See also the Chariot. This is history as an atrocity exhibition. You like this garden? Why is it yours? We evict those who destroy. Now there are blind fish living in the sunken remains of the Führer bunker. Okay, so yeah, this is an interesting and unusual deck. Love the images. I think the interpretations might take a bit of getting used to, but I think this is one that bears exploring, bears considering, and I am going to read the novel. So that is my very quick run through of the rather lovely and very interesting Autonomic Tarot. Until next time everyone, take care of yourselves and I'll see you soon.